Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome everybody. I would like to welcome everybody who joined us here in the room, but also our online viewers who follow our meeting online. And the subject of today's meeting will be to discuss the preliminary achievements of 2019. This will be just a preliminary recap. We have a lot to share with you, good information, a lot of successes to share with you. But the management board who would like to comment on yesterday's message that related to the estimates for 2020. We will start with a recap of the achievements of 2019, which will be presented by Dariusz Mańko, the president of the board. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can hear me well. I'd like to welcome everybody here in the room and the online viewers. It's a pleasure for me to meet with you today and communicate that 2019 is yet another historic record profit for Kety Group. It's been 10 years that we've been setting records. Well, it's been the past 8 years. I was too fast, I'm sorry. We still have to do 2 more years. Well, I was thinking about that 2009, it was a crisis around the world, but yes, well, okay, 3.2 billion zloty, these are the revenues in 2019, and 7% growth year on year with the low level of aluminium. So the volume helped us, despite the fact that it was a difficult, hard year, hard for many companies in our industry, especially in extrusions, our competition, and we know that today we have the data today. Well, and the data shows that there are big drops, falls in revenues. So we believe that we were helped with our strongly diversified portfolio, and good revenues translated to high profits on operational level, EBITDA 13% growth and 294 million net profit. Again, historic record profit, 10% higher than last year. We made a correction and dividend, and the results were even better than we thought. Why did it happen? First of all, the flexible packaging segment performed better than we expected, and that was connected with a new production line, manufacturing line for BOPP film, and I can safely say that this is operating 100%, and it is completely booked, and we didn't expect that it will happen so fast and the results will be so good in December. And I need to remind you that we've actually launched the manufacturing line in autumn last year, but the orders came very fast. And again, extrusions, extruding product segment was another nice surprise. So initially we had some falls in orders and we were getting ready. We were concerned about the recession and how the market will behave, where will be the bottom. And later on, we started to think how to actually end the year successfully so that the December is not really bad. But it turned out that December was a month that showed us quite optimistic symptoms, and it was confirmed during the first quarter, and the orders came. And according to our graphs, we know that the downturn is over for us, and that means that our group and the extruded products segment went quite well through the recession. Well, it is connected strongly to our automotive industry, so it is over, and it didn't cause us too many problems. In 2019, we also paid out a dividend, 229 million zloty. I believe this is a 7% return rate, and it is a satisfactory message in my opinion. And this is quite reliable. This is quite a good message for the future pensioners. Ladies and gentlemen, what else happened in 2019? Well, export. It's not a secret that we are a big company, 3 billion zloty trading, and we are very happy that we are able to work on our export position. This is 47% share in our revenues, in our income, and this is something that we worked for, and this continues to be consistent with the philosophy of our operations, with our objectives. These are different markets, but the most important thing is that all three segments are doing quite successfully, are quite successful there. So this is an optimistic message. Of course, the capacities utilization, 86, 88, 89%. Well, that shows you one thing, that all the investments and the operations and the development of Kety was error-less. So we did not make any mistakes last year. How often we are asked, how do you make it to be so successful? Well, it's quite simple, actually. You have to have a cool head, and whenever you invest in anything, well, the investments must be made according to your competences. You need to have employees, technology, know-how, market, and once you have all the competences, you can buy a new tool, new machine, and actually invest in something in the area, in the field that you know. So in such way, it's less difficult to make a mistake. Well, we have a new direction, polypropylene film, but three other businesses we know quite well. But think how long we waited for the press for hard alloys, and we've been thinking about it for 10 years. This was a project that was postponed, and we had those yellow cards, but we were waiting for the good moment to say, okay, once we have this new press, we need to be sure that we have orders. We don't really want to invest millions of zlotys in something, in a press that doesn't work. And this is similar with every single investment. It is also about good timing. This is similar situation that applies to the laboratory with the painting shop for aluminium elements. And it is right now working 70% of capacities, and soon it will be 100% of capacities that will be booked. And the fact that we are so successful and we develop so well is because our investments are booked in ahead of time, in advance. So we are quite cautious in terms of our investment plans and returns on investments. So we are very happy about that. As you can see, 2019 closed down a certain investment field, and as you can see in our prognosis for 2020, we are planning less investments, and this is a moment for us to think through the coming 5 years. You could read in the press about us saying about strategy, but we didn't really say anything about strategy. We will be thinking about the strategy during this year, and we will be communicating something after the holidays. We want to think it through peacefully, thoroughly, in order to offer you something reliable, in order to increase our profits that are so important. Well, I believe this is all from me, about 2019. Well, everything that I wanted to tell you about 2019, I just told you. Let's move on to the packaging segment. And here we are presenting you a new slide. Because right now, packagings are very popular. I mean, it is popular to talk about packagings, that they are outdated, that they are not popular anymore, and things like that. So there is a better environment when it comes to packaging, but this is just a piece of information of the whole truth. With the help of packagings that are produced by our factory, you can actually store food longer. Without this packaging, well, the storing time, the shelf time would be shorter. And the same goes for drinks, for liquids. Of course, it is popular right now to buy glass bottles, but well, they weigh more, for instance, and we understand the tendency and that we are not angry about it at all. For us, it was so much better when the world forgot about it and produced 12 colors packagings with various laminates, multi-layer packagings, and you could actually do nothing about it because there was no possibility for recycling this kind of packaging. Well, so we believe that the world cannot forget about the packagings. They cannot give it up. But we will be moving into homogeneous products, into single layer, actually single layer packagings, and they can be recycled. They can be recycled and reused, or they are not just stored as waste for hundreds of years. So we are not really afraid of that, but we are following the tendencies. Our teams are working on that. We have our own solutions. Our competitors are also working on that. And well, we were helped a lot by BOPP investment, because this is a homogeneous material, and on the basis of this material, of this film, all our packagings are made, and that's why the second production line is so successful. And as far as the packaging are regarded and the results thereof, well, with regard to the revenues, to the profits, well, that was a natural thing, because we have had new investments and we knew that the new investment will bring new profits, but 53%, please note that this is the growth of export, and we are very happy about it, because this is actually the access to a bigger market, bigger than just Polish market. And this is something that I keep telling you. This is about our employees and their competences, their skills. And today this factory is around 7% of European market, responsible for 7% of the European market. So this is a big player on the European market. It is very rare for a company to be so successful so fast in the field that they weren't operating in before. And today we are quite important on the quite important company on the European market, and we plan to continue the good situation, and we would like to have 5% higher EBITDA, 255 million. So, well, naturally the profitability will drop, because BOPP comes at a lower margin than other products, and we will focus on optimization of the remaining production. And here we need to focus on the fact that on the technology regime, on the continuous productions, this is how we achieve a good margin. I need to tell you that we have good machines, good skills. The only problem are the roto machines that work in county. They are a little bit old, and the investment that you can see, the 30 million zloty in packaging, well, they will relate to a slow replacement of the roto printers into new flexo printers. So that the field of our traditional packagings is not negatively impacting our results, our revenues. And that's all probably about the packaging sector. And if there are any questions, then please do not hesitate to ask them. And now I give the floor to my colleagues to discuss other sectors. Good afternoon, the extruded products segment, and we have a slide to present to you. And as the CEO has said already, well, we've improved when it comes to the orders. During the first quarter, as you can see on the graph below, you can see the leading producers, also the extruded products segments, and the change in Q3 in extrusion volume shipments. Well, there are different scenarios. One says plus 2% and the other one says minus 2%, and we stand by the positive scenario, and we believe that the global market will grow by 2% in 2020. This will be a challenge. A competition will be a challenge, competition with those who recorded some losses. And again, another challenge will be the import from China and Turkey. These are countries who traditionally offer low prices, and they start coming to our markets. And we expect that the revenues will grow by 5%, the sales will grow by 5%, and that is all connected, all the revenues are connected with the price of aluminium. In 2019, as we started with over $1,000 per ton. So for us, the income is a result of the price of aluminium, so 2% lower. So, but with regard to tons, we are growing by 5%, and this is a good message. We are still a leading company on the Polish market, and this is our biggest challenge. We were the leading company, and we will continue to be the leader for a long time in the future. And we are using a higher potential of the export, and this is our advantage. And so far, we've been applying same policy on all markets, regardless whether it was a Czech market, Italian market, or German market. And we have now different companies working on different markets. So in Czech Republic, in Italy, in Germany, and now we are actually coming to the Benelux markets and French market. And we have a Belgium expert who will be working for us on Benelux and French market in order to win new contracts there. What can I tell you about the investment? Well, there is one item that doesn't appear anywhere else. Production tools, 25 million. Investment is lower, and they actually focus on improving capabilities. We will not be investing in a new press or any. We are not focusing on increasing capacity, but we are actually focusing on the machines that we have, and we want to focus on increasing the effectiveness, and we would like to achieve 1,700 tons of additional production capacities. Of course, we continue automation process. So this is mostly in the facility that processes aluminum elements, mostly for automotive industry. This is where the robots can be used, and we have been doing that successfully so far, and we continue this. New projects, well, we strengthen our position in automotive industry. Well, we had this small sort of slowdown in automotive industry, but this is actually a direction that will be continued in automotive industry. The cars will have more and more aluminium, so this is something that will be continued. It is not reversible situation, and we have new contracts, and these are really long-term contracts, up to 5 years. And one of the contracts that we've signed, this is with Daimler. And whenever I look at cars, I can see the elements that we produce. There are brands and models of car models that use only our elements. These are cars. What else? So what will happen in the future? We are telling you that aluminium, as the CEO mentioned, BOPP, well, aluminium is an unlimited lifespan material. It can be recycled unlimited number of times, and we have actually this project. We focus on our internal processes. We would like to actually increase the share of scrap in the most popular 6XXX alloys. Right now this is 30–40%. We would like to increase it to 85%. We know how to do it, how to use more recycled aluminium. We are one of the one company in Europe to have the factory, the right facility to do it. Well, we can use the scrap, but not every scrap can be used. These are special kind of scraps, so plastic ones, flexible ones, the highest quality scrap. So replacement of the aluminium and using more scrap aluminium will help us to increase the capabilities. Aluminium segment. Aluminium systems segments. Well, 2019 was a historic record year, and in our segment we need to highlight the sales, improvement of sales, but also improvement of margins, and this is something we focused on and worked on, and in 2019 we were able to improve it a lot. And now the market situation, well, I've signaled this to you during our last meeting, and now we have specific data covering 2018 and the graphs. As you can see, the production structure in Europe on the left and in Poland on the right, well, it's different. As you can see, only 9% of window productions are aluminium windows, where Europe on average is 27%, and that shows actually the situation, how much Polish market needs to do to catch up with Europe, and these are just the value indicators, and with regard to quantity, just 5% of windows manufactured in Poland are aluminium windows. So, well, that shows you even the longer way to go. And well, as you can see on the graph below, you can see that Poland is the biggest producer of windows in Europe, but still, because we are quite successfully selling wooden and PCV windows in Europe, well, the same will happen to Poland, and we will actually improve our situation. Well, in the future, On Polish market and on the European market, when it comes to aluminum windows, well, the situation can only improve. Other estimates. Now, about the crisis, about the downturn or slowdown, well, we are not being affected by this kind of slowdown directly. Well, the only signals we actually get from our customers who export their products to the European markets, that there is a slight slowdown, but it doesn't translate directly to our sales and revenues. As you could see, we had a record revenues, record sales, and there are no changes as of the beginning of the year. Well, the only problem is the low fluidity, liquidity of the construction market. So this is the only problem, the flows in the construction market. But, well, it's not the first year with this kind of problem, so we've learned how to deal with it. And now the budget estimates in 2020. Well, our estimates, our objectives include a plan that, well, with the good margin that we have, we would like to have 120 million zloty worth sales higher than this year. And we've completed two big contracts, Mennica and Poseidon. This is the sales that will not be recorded this year, and we will have to catch up with. And we estimate that the growth of sale of aluminium systems in Poland and abroad will be worth 120 million zloty more. And now operational profit on EBITDA level, we would like to maintain the record EBITDA from last year, 16.2% higher, so 3% growth change. Where do we want to go? What are the directions that we would like to focus on? Developers market, apartments and condominiums. Well, that it doesn't really produce based only on PCV windows or wooden, and we are cooperating with the developers associations. We offer trainings, we have lectures, inform everyone, and so we believe that in the future the developers we will change and switch on to the aluminium windows. So this is where we are. And now with regard to the products, well, I will show you some numbers on the next slide. We are not showing the tone sale by tones because we don't run this kind of data, but we plan to do the powder coating in our coating rooms. This will be 94.5 kilometers. So yearly we powder coat the area that is 6 times that is equivalent to 6 Warsaw's. So this is when it comes to kilometers and the length, these are twice the earth. And now the profiles that we produce, 3.3 million pieces, and according to meters, it means that every EU citizen could receive 1.5 meter of profile from us. So that shows you the scale of what we do, and therefore the numbers, 1.5 billion. New markets. Well, on this slide you can see our new focuses. So Kenya, Italy, Spain and Portugal. Well, these, why do we mention them today? Since They've been mentioned by us before. Well, we would like to focus on them, and we would like to focus on improving our presence there. And after several years of monitoring the market, of actually checking up the market, well, we can say that these are quite promising markets for us. Now, with regard to investments and new products, well, we plan to have more investments than in 2019, but this is only connected with the construction of the production hall in Opole, so it has been moved from 2019, 28 million zloty, and we have the construction permit already, so we plan that this investment will be completed, finalized by the end of the year. New products, I am showing you the things that I've mentioned already. So a roller shooters, new elements that will be produced in the second and third quarter. We are also showing you the hurricane-proof roller shooters, and these are specialized products mainly for American market and specialized European markets. And we are also showing you solutions for interiors, but this is a new idea for walls. And this product should help the general contractor to bypass the specialized companies. So the general contractor, basing on simple solutions and education that we offer, will actually have the opportunity to install this kind of wall in different ways, and they will not have to use the help of specialized companies. And this is a new solution. We've seen it on the American market, and we just wanted to bring it to Poland and Europe. And in the end, I'd like to mention a few things about our approach to the sustainable development. And several years ago, our customers, mostly from Western Europe, forced us to focus on that. And this is what we do. And it's not just our company, not just our products are given certificates, but as you can see, there are several kind of certificates that are given in different countries. Well, these are similar certificates with ISO. So the difference is just that ISO you can have or not have it, but we are talking here about different levels, including the highest levels. And well, this is because we offer the highest quality solutions. So thank you so much for your attention. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If I may, I'd like to add a couple of words about consolidated results after 2019. They've been commented by my predecessors, but this year was a historic record year on every level, over 200 million more in sales, and that happened in the reality where aluminium, according to Polish zloty, was cheaper, and this is because of higher volumes that were sold, and all segments contributed to that. Operational activity translated to 524 million zloty EBITDA, record-setting again, and the biggest contribution came from the aluminium systems, over 40 million zloty, and flexible packaging segment, but over 30 million zloty more in profits as compared to the previous year, and this is because of the new production line. Financial activity, no surprises here, mostly mostly good information, tax rate on a good level, 19%. There were not really changes in terms of taxes, and the 200 and also higher profit. Again, record setting. about our objectives for the estimates for 2020, well, we know that the situation continues to be unsure on the market, but we don't really know how the situation will change. Therefore, our objectives are neutral, or partially they reflect on some market tendencies, so they may be more difficult for us because we start with a lower aluminum price and it will affect the final price of our products at some point. But we don't believe that there will be a big change, negative or positive, on the market, and we will continue to being operationally successful. And now moving on to results that are planned for 2020, starting with just a small comment. We remember that in 2019 we've received the 9 million zloty of return for the energy paid. So in order to compare the same conditions, so we needed to actually deduct this 9 million zloty from our results and plans for 2020. We would like to increase our sales, our revenues, and this will be mostly because of the flexible packaging, because of the second year of the new manufacturing line. We will also have more revenues in aluminum systems segments and stable sales revenues in the extruded products, and that will be actually connected with the prices of resources and foreign exchange. And in this situation, our results will be again higher than 2019, 20 million zloty more EBITDA. This is our plan, and the contribution will be from aluminum system 9 million zloty, 11 million zloty from SOP segment, and the rest SGW. Also interest rates that will come from the negative effects. Again, taxes, we don't really expect any changes there, including the deferred tax changes. And right now, well, we have higher amortization, therefore our operational results and the EBITDA is a little bit lower. And now the situation about the cost. They actually grow by 100 million zloty. We have two important items here. So materials that we use and energy, and these growths increase is due to the fact that we increase our offer and volumes, and also salaries. They are responsible for 9% growth year on year. So we have three elements: technical or regulatory zone, because we know that the 2019 fund, salary increase fund, will be functioning in 2020. We also have the employee capital plans, and because of that, the salaries will be higher. We will also use the money to increase the employment, and we plan to employ 100 new people because of the new fields that we will be operating in. And we will be also investing in, for instance, painting shop, or the BOPP film line. And we also plan a special fund for salary increases, but this is just a small percentage. And now our financial standing, so cash flows and our cash situation. Above in the graph, you can see the debt, 700 million zloty. In the end of the year, we plan to have a sound cash flows, and this is because of a very good EBITDA. As compared to 2019, in 2020, we estimate that the tendency will be reversed with regard to the working capital, because last year we released the capital, and in 2020, because the scale of our operations will be bigger, we will have to release more working capital. But definitely we will be able to cover the investment plan. It is smaller this year, 200 million zloty, slightly over 200 million zloty. And we want to achieve a high dividend, so matching 2019. 2018 was a record year. In 2019, it was also a record year. But there is one reservation, that the recommendation will be prepared by the management board by the end of March. And so we would like to have more time to better evaluate the situation on the market. But by the end of 2020, we will have the debt reaching the level of nearly 750 million zloty. This will be still safe. The indicator debt to EBITDA will be 1.5, so a safe indicator, and we will be able to deliver all our plans, all our estimates. And well, this is a good start for planning our operations in the coming 5 years. And last slide, this is just a recapitulation. So shortly, if we are able to deliver the budget, that must be actually called an ambitious budget because of the situation on the market, we will be able to exceed all the parameters that we've set forth in our strategy 2015-2020. And well, we stand by this. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Now we are moving on to the Q&A session. Are there any questions? Łukasz Rudnik, Trigon, Dom Maklerski. I'd like to congratulate you. Good results. Piotr, Norsk Hydro, what is the situation? You have been restructuring the business since the third quarter in extruded product segment. Does that positively affect the volumes or margin? Because the player with 20% share in the market, with your small share on the market, well, this is a good chance for you, a great opportunity for you. Well, with the competition, any problem that the competition affects us positively, because the customers can notice that something is happening. Well, this is not the first time, because when overtaking Hydrosap, well, we've used our chance there, and right now any kind of disturbances work for us. And scrap use, aluminium scraps, so moving from 30-40% in 6 XXX scraps to 85%. How will that translate to the results? Well, we've started this project, and we will be telling you in detail. This is about 60% difference when it comes to the prices of the scrap and the aluminium, original aluminium. Well, we've got some calculations, but I can't tell you that right now. I would like to refrain from telling you that now. Well, there is just a project and is co-funded. Are you going to have like a yearly annual production? And what about the numbers? This is about 70% of what we use. Because this is a basic alloy for extruded aluminium. So this is the basic alloy. And for the CEO, cogeneration project. Well, cogeneration works for extruded products. Well, we filed our documents. We are applying for funding, and we will have the message around June. If we win, we will be doing it. Cogeneration can be only completed, can be only delivered if co-funded. About gas and cost of energy, this is the main cost element in extruded products. Is there any annual contracting policy? Yes. So contracts from last year, and it affects today's price of gas and energy. Well, we are contracting gas and energy on annual basis. We still follow the prices from the last year, but the price in 2020 will be better than in the past year. So thank you so much. And with regard to the scrap and aluminium, well, it is also about the availability of aluminium. It's not that we are able to buy the clean scrap just like that, but that is also connected with the furnace capacities. For instance, we have 2 furnaces and the capabilities on the market. There are a lot of factors that need to be included in this project. We can't say that the 90,000 tons that we produce can be replaced with scrap, everything. Marek Iso, PZU. I have a question about higher customs rates for a ready aluminium element for USA. Will that stop your expansion in any way? Or maybe the custom rates do not affect your situation. Let me tell you this, that our American broker is analyzing the situation, and we know for sure that the customs rate will be increased when it comes to aluminium profiles, but we don't have a specific message about the ready product, whether it will be covered by the increased rate or not, but we are competing with the ready products on the American market with the suppliers from outside of the US, so it will affect all of them. So we don't really expect that there will be many changes here. So we are talking about the ready products, glass products, because this is what we sell to the US. I have 2 more questions about the situation, about the logistical chains. Did you change anything there? Well, we don't have any ties with the Chinese market, only the threats, the risks that is connected with the export to the Chinese market, but these are ready products. This is just a chance, the whole disturbance that is happening right now, this is a chance and opportunity. Are there any other questions? Jakusz Hapatem, Bank. I have a follow-up to the previous question. If the situation happen and the customs are increased, we have signed a contract on American market. What is the risk there? Can you quantify the risk? How much should you deduct from the signed contracts, from the profits? Well, let me tell you this. The signed contracts, we are talking about 50 million zloty. This is the calculation according to the current exchange rate. Some contracts are open and we can renegotiate them in case the higher customs are enter into force. And it depends on the scale. If it's just 10%, which I don't really believe in because this is too much, And right now, the customs rate is 6.5%. So it's really easy to calculate. So maximum 5 million zloty. This is the worst case scenario. One more question. What Łukasz asked about gas. Can you quantify how much the gas prices are lower and how they affect you? Well, we have a specific number, but our competitors are also listening. I have a specific price. I know how much cheaper it is. And one more question concerning slide 14. You are showing the growth of sales. And the CEO said that this market is more difficult. How does this market work now? How does it operate? How does it work now? Not much has changed. We are a leading company in Poland, 70% share of the market. And we can say that there is no customer in Poland that is not using our solutions, at least partially. Right now, this is a product that is not a very difficult technically. It is not a difficult product. Therefore, we are winning because we've got great service. And in addition to the price and to the quality, in Europe, in Poland, we are recognized as a company that offers great variety of products and offers great logistical services and post-production services. And we realize that because this product is not technically complicated, but we also add new products to our portfolio as presented because these are the rolling shooters, pergolas, and other products that will be added. So a great portfolio, extensive portfolio of products will help us to have a stable presence on the market. Now, moving back to what I've said, we may say that we've actually won. There was an attack, but we won. Because, well, definitely, it's not very difficult to produce rolling shooters, the shooters, but the quality, the service that we offer left no room to compete with us. And now I believe that we don't really have that much of a competition. Well, we've been very successful in watching the market, monitoring the market, because it was easier to sell the product just as those wings. Pens only. But we forced our customers to buy the whole product, not just the pens, not just the accessories or just pens, but as the CEO has said, well, we won. Well, in Poland, definitely we prefer plastic windows. Now we imagine our skills, our know-how. Well, I don't know if I could actually start competing with the plastic windows manufacturers. They have the know-how, they have the skills, they have the experience. Well, it'd be difficult for me to compete with the plastic windows. You have to remember that those companies have been on the market for many years. I don't know why we should be better. The similar situation was with the shutters. Maybe the barrier for entering the market was low, but it turns out that we can do it the best, and we're the best in doing that, so we won. There was an attack, but we won. So external services, outsourced the services growth. What is happening here? Is there any risk? Now, with regard to energy and outsourced services, this is connected with the operation, so growing volumes and the fact that we have been functioning for the whole year and the investment that we've completely finalized last year. So there is nothing new here. There is no change, significant change here. I understand that the 3%, well, this is, on the one hand, this is connected with the fact that service providers will be exposed to the growing prices, but partially the cost of outsourced services are optimized by us, offset by us. For instance, the painting shop, the 3% is a net figure, and we should stick to it. It seems that we should stick to it. Last year we have been painting more outside. We've been outsourcing it more, but now we are doing it more internally. Salaries, as we've said, there are several elements involved, and every element is part of the 9% growth. It's not just because of the salaries. The 9% is not just because of the salaries. Flexible packagings, because you were able to book the machine so fast. Are you thinking about the new investment in this segment? Will you be able to tell us more after the second, third quarter? Well, we will tell you everything when we will be presenting our strategy. We have to keep those things for later as well, but yes, strategic thinking is important. Talking about the strategy, we have an online question. The question was answered. Actually, when can we expect that the strategy will be announced? As I've said, after holidays, we will definitely tell you about our strategic objectives. What else can we say today? It's difficult to have an object. Well, definitely, you have to believe that the Kety Group will not change. We will continue our hard work. It's not that we will show you some crazy investments in our strategy. It is a boring TV show that is repeatable, and the same will happen in our strategy. And we would like to think about our operational investments, so tools, machines that offered us good returns so far and profits so far. And we will be thinking through the possibilities, opportunities in geographical expansion. Maybe we will not be focusing on small tasks. Maybe the investment will be a little bit bigger, concise. We will focus on 2-3 big goals. We would like to prepare a very good business plan, professional operations in other fields, on other markets. We have good products, good technologies, we have machines, we have capabilities, and we just need to have more markets, new markets. We have to win them in the future. Are there any other questions? Any other questions about 2019 or the estimates? We have one more question. Last question. In the prognosis or updated prognosis for 2019, EBITDA and the net profit was higher by 13 million zloty. Why did it happen? Which segment contributed to it? Well, in fact, indeed, when reporting unupdated estimates, just the estimated numbers for, we've informed you about 10 million zloty EBITDA, but in December we only had the estimate 10 plus 2. with the first estimates for November. November was slightly better than we thought it would be, but we were afraid about December. But December turned out to be completely different than we expected. And therefore, the difference. And now about the contribution, this is a business contribution. There's no one-off things happening, contributing here. So SOG and SWW, well, usually December is the most difficult month for them, but well, it turned out to be a better month than expected. So these were the two main differences. Are there any other questions? If there are no questions, thank you so much for joining us today. I would like to thank our online viewers for joining us today, and let's see each other during the next month. Thank you so much.